cute little psychopath. No, she doesn't want to play with you.
That was the perfect time to start the recording.
You cute little psychopath, or she doesn't want to play with you.
You cute little psychopath.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very
Name of
Perfect.
my new
much.
band.
There it is.
Maybe.
That does sound like a band name.
Cute little
That's the
psychopath.
theme
I'm
song
in.
of this group.
Listen,
You
I
cute little
still like
psychopath.
Cute little
I still like
psychopath.
Cadaver
Gold
Canyon as a
bottoms and no
band
one
name,
knows
but
what
that
to
one's
do with it.
okay.
Anywho, welcome back, everybody.
Hey.
Yo.
Hi. Last we left our heroes, we were kind of doing some carousing around the port city of Port here at the north end of the Jabari Desert. Uh, you guys had come in and spoken to some people, and you were walking around the marketplace, and we spent a bunch of time at the Temple of Thoth and the Temple of Sekhmet, where within the Temple of Sekhmet, a old acquaintance of the professor showed up, one Nathala, stalwart hammer in the Order of the Broken Blade, the Temple of Tempest.
First of her name.
I love how you can't. I love how you can't, even though it's a different campaign, not say her full name.
That is her full name.
It's her name.
I love how you can't not say it. You have to say her whole full name.
She kind of shared her bits of wisdom. Shared a little bit of how she finds balance on the battlefield when Yuki came asking, and then Yuki asked for a 1v1, which Yuki won pretty well.
V1.
Enjoying a day, kind of going around these temples here. And as we last left our party, we were moving on from the Temple of Sekhmet to the direction of the Temple of Anubis. So as you walk out of the temple and back into the hot sun coming down on you, the warm ocean air breeze kind of brushing against your skin as you make your way across, well, not even across the city, just not too far away from where you are towards the Temple of Anubis, you will notice that a small modron starts to kind of flutter your way.
Ooh.
I'll take us over to Wayburn Port.
It's a spy.
I'm going to wait a few minutes for the Google Meet audio to catch up with me. Unless it's sounding all right.
I know that Professor was doing some chat on conversation that had been happening last night on the boat before we had gotten into Wayburn Port today. So I just wanted to know if Mars wanted to continue that here to get that done, or keep that as roleplay chat.
Yeah, let's do it now, just because it may trigger something later on. So, and I'll keep it short.
Sounds good.
Take as much time as you like. We'll
Do you?
Take as much
Yeah.
as you want, dude.
roll the clock
you,
on
babe.
back, and it's the morning of you guys entering Wayburn Port. Please take it away.
As you walk towards the Temple of Anubis, you have a flashback to last night.
If Nariko's about to get a letter, she's going to be very preoccupied for a minute while I'm dealing with that. So now's the time.
All right. So as Professor had gone into Nariko's room, and she had kind of explained what she had been working on, Professor just nods and smiles like, "Oh, you are proper smart. Using the extra space to accommodate for self-proliferating subroutines, your approach to problem-solving never ceases to impress."
Oh, you flatter me. It's not anyone else, not anything anyone else wouldn't have thought of given enough time, I'm sure. And I did have the benefit of having something of a model to spark the interest to delve further. But you came to see me probably not just to hear about what nonsense I've been up to. How can I help you, Professor?
Well, as much as I do enjoy seeing what you're up to, I guess my reason for being here isn't too far off for this. I have something to ask of you. I really believe you might be the only one has a clear enough mind and unbiased enough outlook to trust with this. Given the volatile nature of my chosen field of study, I've taken some very potent precautions just in case my chosen field of study causes changes. One of those things we've both been concerned about is the void's corruptive nature maybe have the potential to poison someone's mind. Frankly, I don't think I am willing to risk anyone if that happens. So some protections have been set up. The thing is, they can't auto-trigger. And that's where you come in. You have the clarity of mind to see what others don't. If you deem that my mind has become compromised to the point of putting anybody in danger, I need you to speak a keyword to trigger the protections.
Are you certain that you wouldn't want that keyword to be given to anyone else in addition?
He kind of thinks for a moment and he says, I did consider, but there are plenty of reasons not to, between whether someone just feels that my approach is maybe not as satisfactory compared to someone else, or someone who just wants to find the good in everyone who might shy away from using it. I think it has to be you, at least for as long as we're together.
These defenses, are these sort of these sort of like winces, a kill switch of sorts, a means to disable you from further action?
You could say that, sort of. More like putting me in a place where I can't harm anyone.
Is it like a dimensional sequester?
Yeah, pretty much.
Or she thinks for a second, a recall. Are you giving me a keyword that would violate your contract and thus shunt you back to the academy?
He laughs, like, no. Depending on who you ask, probably much dunner. I like to think that I'm an intelligent, learned individual who should know better, but given the people that I take company with and the people we've met along the way, I have reason to believe that this might be the best course of action. No, it's not so simple as being shunted away. You speak the keyword, and the Summer Queen will take me away.
And why? What is the mechanism behind that? Why would that be the end result?
Well, I'd like to think that if this thing compromises my mind, that there's a way to reverse it. I don't want to just have a kill switch. I don't particularly want to die instantly. I like the idea of maybe fighting this thing and knowing where the lines need to be drawn, and being shunted away by someone who has the ability to do so, rather than having something auto-trigger in a way that we can't really understand or guess what's going to happen, gives me the best possible chance at doing that.
All right. I trust that in your delving, you have seen a critical need for this sort of precaution in place, and I will honor the trust you place in me to be the one to keep you honest.
He smiles and bows his head a little bit. Thank you. I will give you my word that these precautions are not a free rein to be careless. Any more careless than I already am, I guess. But I'm not. This isn't a free ticket. This is insurance.
I will admit, since Wren discovered his own means of reversing influence. You have not used that as a excuse to go buck wild, so you've proven that much so far.
Better safe than sorry. And Wren, I'm sure, will be instrumental in reversing any sort of corruption that happens to my mind, if that is something that happens.
Very well.
But anyways, I don't know what the keyword is. It'd be silly for me to know and have that as failsafe. So I'm to let you know to expect a visit from Her Majesty herself to let you know what that word is.
Oh, okay. Sounds good. What was she? Do we know the method in the dreams? Will she use the post?
I don't know. I mean, she just appeared in the chair in my room, like 5 minutes ago. She just sitting there.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
He laughs almost nervously. Like, it is very unsettling. But as far as people who could just pop in and out of reality, it could be worse.
Well, if I knew she was here, I would have, try and be a good host. But I guess she wants to keep her meetings private, and I'll get my own private meeting later. Okay, well, good. Thank you for giving me the heads up. I would have been very concerned if she had appeared to me and started giving me code phrases without context or your consent. So, good. Very good. You want some coffee or anything?
I'm good. I think I have enough going on to try keep me awake through the night, but appreciate it. Thank you. I think I'm going to try and be horizontal for a little bit and see if I can at least think about sleep for a bit before we go out into the world tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Oh, maybe use your journal to talk to your lady friend. That sounds like a nice thing to do before bed.
He laughs and he says, well, I actually have a sending stone for that.
Oh, I like writing sometimes because it gives me more time to, put the words together and reshape them. Sometimes if I talk, I'll sort of just slip into something I didn't intend.
But that's the beauty of it. That's the fun. You never know what's going to come out, and that's the real you, not the one you get the filter.
Well, that would be why I'm Miss Orderly, fix it, put things together, and you're Mr. Wild Experiment New Frontiers.
He laughs a bit. Like, if I ever earn an actual title, I want it to be that.
The what would it be? The Wild Explorer of New Frontiers. Is that what a Sepka's titles?
It probably is now.
Yeah. Well.
Laughs a bit. Thank you, Naruto. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Professor.
You will
Appreciate what you do for us here and that you trust me so well.
Here's hoping that you still appreciate that 3 weeks down the road.
He sort of stares blankly at you, is like, what? What do you know?
Oh, I don't know anything, but you never know what's going to happen. Anything could happen in new places. The strangest things could happen. And the last place we went to had nothing wrong with it, and that was weird.
Okay, look, you just told me that an archfey appeared like in one of the rooms on my ship and had a conversation with you and then disappeared. I was fully willing to believe that you knew some sort of prophecy 3 weeks from now, so don't spook me like that.
Oh, right. Look at it this way. She's less of an archfey and more of a friend who just happens to also be an archfey.
I can think of it in that way. I will be quite honest, the bullet point where it says archfey is still very big and very bold. compared to the other one.
Yeah, I probably don't say thank you to her, even if it feels a little bit rude.
Right. Okay. Well, good talk.
Yes,
Rest well.
good night, Narco, and to new frontiers. He will take his leave.
As soon as that door shuts, Narco just hears a voice that says, it's not like I spy on you all the time.
You kind of just see like her whole body sort of tense up for a moment, and then she breathes out a sigh of, yeah, of course, I should have expected this. I kind of did. Okay. And she sort of just smooths out her dress a little bit and turns around and sort of gives a little bow and says, "Good evening, Queen Lorelei. Welcome to my
Lorelei
ship."
looking at Arby. You work too much. What are you? 16, 17?
16. Or still 16 and a half.
He's younger than my brother was when I first met him.
Well,
Do you do anything for fun? Or do you just stress yourself out most of the time?
honestly, a lot of what you referred to as working is how I have fun.
Uh-huh.
I am learning new things to put into the fun category as this adventure continues.
Yes. Being thrust into saving the world is always a really great option for things like that. It's good work, though.
I should hope so. I almost said the T word, did not. Okay.
Don't worry. It's not like I'll come and steal your soul or something. You just owe me a favor. And we don't want that, so keep it to yourself. Anyway, your professor friend wanted you to be the person holding his strings. Aren't you lucky?
I am lucky to have him as a friend who would trust me in that way, yes.
Reckless. That's why you like him now.
I suspect it might be a bit of why you like him too.
That remains to be seen, but I do have quite a few different reasons to keep all of you going, as it were. So, we need a trigger phrase. Or word. It's kind of like a safe word. Do you have a safe word?
No, my safe has a number combination lock on it. So
Do you have a binder? Because you need one. You were stressing me out. Aren't you supposed to get married or something? You don't have a safe word?
I mean, I am to be wed. I mean, so like, am I going to need a kill switch phrase for a spouse? Is that a thing?
More of a phrase to use when you're in the heat of the moment and you don't want the heat of the moment to die, so you say a word that lets them know that you need them to stop doing a particular thing, but you would like them to continue other things. It's a word that you wouldn't normally say in that situation. This is similar. Have you ever said the word motherfucker before? Because that's usually a really good one for me.
I've probably said that particular word once or twice, not very loudly though. I mean, if I need a secret, like if we're doing like code phrases and stuff, sometimes saying a phrase out loud is actually less secure. Mother, I think, has this little hand sign thing. You see, you point to different spots on the hand, and it kind of like types out a word.
Mm-hmm.
So
How's that
the
work when you're blindfolded?
I think. Mm,
That's part of a binder that you should have as a 16-year-old. I will get you one because it bothers me that you are so unprepared. Either way, that's a later thing. That's a later thing. I'm not going to think about it right now. We need a safe word, trigger phrase, whatever you want to call it, for when your professor friend gets to live in a small bubble of my choosing.
right. Did you have one to give to me, or am I responsible for creating one?
I was going to suggest motherfucker, but if you've said it before, then
No, I don't. I don't want something that I might, as you say, like in the heat of the moment.
Mm.
It might be something I would say normally if I was just very, very upset.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, maybe I'm upset at him, which would work, but no. Let's see. Words, words that I would never be liable to say. Does it have to be one word, or can it be a phrase?
No, it could be a phrase. It's just something that we will both agree on so that I know to listen for it.
Hmm. On the one hand, I'm trying to think of something very like clever and poetic. On the other hand, I'm trying to think of something that's complete nonsense, but no one would ever guess it. Hmm. Ooh. Uh, you know what? Neville is thinking too hard on this. He can steal inspiration from somewhere else. Neville Neville has an entire playlist of songs for Naruto.
Hey,
I'm sure there's a lyric in here that'll work for this.
there
There
you
you
go.
go. That's it.
That's how we get that working, man. Lorelai will just walk around the room looking at all your things while you think.
Not uncomfortable or anything.
Nope.
Narco's thinking for a second. No. I had an idea, but then I realized no, that might actually come up in a conversation.
I mean, this is why safe word is important. It doesn't have to rhyme or anything, you know. You can make a screeching sound. Have you made a screeching sound before?
There was one time where I didn't have my gloves on, and I forgot how hot the metal had gotten when working on it.
You make me sad. And possibly violent.
Guys, stop making suggestions. Because I keep wanting to go with them.
Chat just going wild.
That's a smart idea, Professor. That's,
Uh,
that's, 'That's, that's, 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 mean.
I love lamp. I love cake with an awkward pause and an inflection at the end.
All right, I think I've picked out a phrase that works for a first draft. I will take feedback from the peanut gallery.
I mean, I'm sure you could throw that out in the middle of some dramatic moment, and it would be very fun.
Yeah.
All right, we will go with that. I'm not an unimaginable thing. My thoughts are tangible, though they're full of strings.
Okay. You gotta remember that.
Oh, I will.
Well, that's not on me if you forget to throw that out in, a few seconds before he obliterates you or something. I have keyed it to the spell. Great.
Okay, as long as you can get it out within 6 seconds, it works.
So long as you can get it out in a good amount of time, it'll work just fine.
Damn it, chat.
I'm trying so hard here. You are a baby, and this is uncomfortable. So I'm gonna go now.
All right. Well, good travels.
Mm.
I'm sure you already know any relevant information I would have to report to you about how things are going, so
Again, I don't actually spy on you. The professor reached out to me. I gave you a rose specifically so that I would not have to deal with any of you speaking into my mind. I have enough of that, but it did seem fairly important, so I responded.
and I am saving that for a moment where we have serious need to contact you.
Wonderful. But since we're here, do you have anything to report on the search for temerity? I assume no, because you have said nothing of the sort.
Well, we've gone through the same course that her ship took to reach Rainbow Port. We were waylaid by some sea creatures, but nothing we couldn't handle. So
Obviously.
nothing noteworthy is there as far as clues towards why she may have appeared to have disappeared during that transit. But we are on our way towards what was supposed to be our eventual destination, so perhaps more to find.
Hopefully. Well, safe travels, Nariko. To you and all of your friends.
Probably won't be.
Well, it never is. Saving the world rarely has easy battles to fight. But good stories for later on when you grow old and think about it.
Yeah. There were some traveling gypsies who said that they felt a sense of heroism, destined championness about us. I don't. Is that a thing that has like a that you
No.
know? No, it's not. Okay, good.
Not a thing. It's a thing for a lot of soothsayers to say a lot of things that you can then look back on in 20 years and go, ah, yes, they were correct. Because anything that you look back on 20 years later can be manipulated to fit whatever it is. You are heroic because you're doing heroic things. You're not destined for it. You chose to be heroes.
Mhm.
And that's good for you. But it's not destiny that made it happen. It's you that made it happen.
Okay.
Because
I just
all of you
wanna-
chose to make it happen. And if you ever choose to no longer be heroes and let some other group of adventurers fight the good fight, that's also just fine.
Okay, I was just curious if, as a metaphysical concept, fate was something that could be sensed or measured in some concrete manner.
No,
Probably by beings on your particular power scale, but
there's
good.
a goddess of fate.
I get the sense
She's
you don't get along with her very well.
Oh no, she's great. She plays a wonderful hand of poker. She loses a lot, but you'd think goddess of fate probably be able to only come to the games she was supposed to win, but no, she doesn't. She loses frequently.
But wouldn't it? But if you are a personification of fate as sort of an unescapable outcome, wouldn't it then be anathema to her very being to manipulate what is supposed to be uh, unshakable? Like it's kind of like the god of strength being able to out wrestle himself or something. Like I think that might create a paradox.
Welcome to what a god bullshit. None of it makes sense, and don't put your faith in most of it.
This is why I stick to the hard magics.
Again, I'm trying so hard, Naruto. You are 16. And if I say that's what she said, you're not even going to get it. And it's wasted. It's wasted. It's Cal. I'm going to go find Cal. You have a lovely evening. Tell your friends to have a lovely evening. Tell your professor. I hope I don't see him too soon.
Will do.
Good night. Disappears.
Cool. So small retcon. Naruto informs the rest of the party in the morning over breakfast that Lorelei visited the ship briefly.
Everybody freaks out.
What did she say? Oh, I gave her an update on how things were going, and she told me to tell everyone to have a good day.
Well, that seems nice.
She just came to tell us to have a good day.
No, there was the business stuff about talking about how our search was going. We had any updates or concerns. She kind of offered me to retire from adventuring if I wasn't happy with how things were going.
Was
Oh,
she
that's
upset
nice.
that we have not found Temerity yet?
No, she seemed very very neutral.
Maybe she just showed up because now we're in Webin Port, and that's kind of where Temerity went missing. So she's just getting antsy about it.
She also seemed very concerned about how young I was and that I didn't have a binder or like a passphrase. I think
Do you
she
need a
called it a
binder?
fake one, but
You don't have a binder?
no. I had a formal
Wow.
education, which taught me most of the stuff that I've seen in your binder, as far as like how world works. Also, my mom taught me a lot of stuff like about business and interpersonal relationships. I mean,
Oh,
I don't have a lot of practical experience with some of those topics, but I don't know. Lorelai seemed to think that say that she might get me a binder, so maybe I don't need to borrow yours.
oh, okay. Well, if you do, you can.
I don't know. Does your binder talk about safe words? Because it seemed like she was talking about something. Like she seemed to not think I understood what she was talking about.
I don't know. There's some chapters that I haven't read yet. Because I haven't gotten to them, so I've not read them. There might be.
Well, throw that into the rotation of books to read.
Okay. Well, I'm glad it went well.
Anything else on this surprisingly extensive flashback that we wound up doing? I thought the
Nope.
professor was going to talk about, like, ask for a pickle recipe or something. Nope.
Nope.
That's tomorrow, pickle night.
He is getting into
Oh.
the culinary arts. So we snap back to the present, and as you all step out of the Temple of Sekhmet, a Modron starts to flutter its way towards your party. It kind of lands a few feet in front of you as you guys are walking. Narku, you'll notice right away this is not um, Newman.
Mhm.
As a matter of fact, this Modron seems to have like a small length of like some kind of metal, like a piston or something, like hanging from its mouth that he's like chewing on like a cigar. Uh, Waddles its
Amazing.
way up to each of you and kind of like gives you a quick glance, kind of like sizing you up. He gets in front of Professor and stops and looks up at you, Professor, and he says, "Hey, you the Professor?"
Oh, yeah, yes. Um, I've not been addressed by Modron before, especially not with your particular vernacular. Hello, yes, I'm. I don't know what he looks to Nargo. I don't know what to say.
I got a
What?
package for you. All you have to say is that you'll accept it.
Oh, um, I will accept it.
This Modron opens up its chest cavity, pulls out a package wrapped in green fabric, and presents it to you.
He takes it, kind of looks at it weird, then looks back at the Modron. He's like, "Thank you."
Modron shuts its chest cavity shut, takes a non-existent puff on a non-existent lit piston, and flies away.
Amazing.
Oh,
Is it just pretending to smoke?
I don't know.
is
Amazing.
that one of yours, Nariko? Is that programmed to be insufferable?
Is that one of mine, Joe?
I mean, it's
Is
part
that
of the Motrin delivery system. Maybe not one that you're particularly, familiar with, but it's part of the delivery system. It's got the
The
little
beast
logo and
mod.
everything.
well, I mean, Newman is not very standard because, well, uh, he's kind of glitchy. He's got a fault in his axiom, which results in his particular behavior. That one might have something similar. I think it might have seen someone who kind of fit that description and like modeled its own behavior off of that.
I'm sure whoever they found is just an absolute joy to be around. What is this? And he starts unwrapping the package.
As you unwrap the package, it's like a little care package of sorts. As you kind of unwrap it, on top is a small envelope, and I am about to put something into your journal now.
Okay.
I don't know if did that automatically pop up for you.
Please hold.
How about now?
There it is. He reads it over and kind of digs through the package. Like, oh, this is lovely. I love this. That's so cute. He starts digging through it and he pulls out a couple vials of stuff, a pair of goggles, and he like immediately puts it on over his quad glasses and they just fit perfectly. And he turns and looks to his compatriots and just kind of wiggles his eyebrows under them. Digs through the bag and like, oh, apples, that's nice. He pulls one out and offers one to Wren.
Apple. And Ren will take it and start munching because it's an apple.
Who sent you the package, Professor?
Zachariah.
Oh, that's so nice. You got a package
like
from
her.
home.
Well, from somebody's home.
Well, home is where the people that you love are.
The pièce de résistance. He pulls out this dark green umbrella with it's emblazoned with the outline of a tree with roots, and it pops it open and it clips onto his jacket, so he's in the shade, leaving his hands free. Like, this is fantastic.
Ooh, you got a little parasol.
I love this. This is nice. He puts all his stuff tucked away neatly into his jacket. And by neatly, he's jamming everything into this one pocket in his jacket, which seems suspiciously like the inside is bigger than the actual size of the pocket.
Of course it is. Are you going to say thank you?
Yes, that would be polite. You mean right now?
Oh, yeah. I guess I did, but I guess you don't have to right this moment.
I'll save it for when I call her later.
Oh, private thank you.
Would you like me? Would you like to say thank you? I mean,
She didn't. I mean, I think that would be weird if I said thank you to someone who sent a package to not me.
Who am I to say what's weird?
Okay, I mean, I'm not gonna. No, I'm good. I just thought maybe. Never mind.
He grins and just takes a bite out of an apple. Oh, wait.
I'm going to the Temple of Anubis.
That's the last of the three kings we've yet to pay visit to.
Fun.
Well, we learned a lot of stuff at the first two. I wonder what the god of death has to share. Yay!
In my experience, they usually do not share much.
They
Really?
shared you. They brought you back for us. That was nice.
You're not hanging out with the right gods of death.
Gods of death usually are the ones with the funnest at parties.
Gaggle of adventurers mosey on over to the last of the temples.
Okay, so you head on over to the Temple of Anubis, and what you see here is it's a much more simpler looking structure. There are no giant statues. There's no large braziers. You don't hear the sounds of fighting, or there's not even like a lot of like you don't even see like any like books or anything like that hanging around. Outside the entrance to this temple is just simple kind of hieroglyphs, kind of just marked around the entrance to the temple. As you go inside, it is a large cavernous space that is kept kind of dark, but still, enough light that you can see. There are torches lit along pathways so that you can easily make your way around. There is a large space in the center for congregation to gather. It's almost set up like your traditional church with pews and aisles and things like that. At the back of this space is a large altar. On the wall, hanging behind it, is uh, a large Ankh symbol. And in front of the temple, you see that there are what looks to be kind of flanking to either side. There are two, like, above ground tombs, and sitting on each, or I should say laying down on each, is black statues of two different Anubises, however you want to say that,
Nubai.
Anubi, and kind of making her way around the temple itself. You see a woman that is tall, slender, dressed in dark robes, gold accents, has a very, very simple uh, headdress. She is kind of going around the ends, just lighting candles. Um, as you enter, though, Wren, I would like you to make me a religion check with advantage.
No, I don't even need it, man.
Ooh,
Yes! Jeez!
I feel the Holy Spirit.
Dice
It's
love to
the
tell
apple.
story.
Oof!
Uh, Ren, you know, as you step across the threshold, without a doubt, that there are a lot of parallels here. You can maybe not so much see it, but you definitely feel it. A lot of parallels here in your connection with Thanatos. Additionally, while you are inside this temple, any d20 roll that you make will be made with advantage.
Ooh.
Hell yeah!
Ren's skull kind of shifts and it looks like he's smiling. He's like, I do feel at home here.
It's quite nice in here.
Roll to rob the place blind.
You're
No,
old.
Professor.
Um, but yeah, as you look around, you see that there are candles lit, there are torches lit to guide paths, there are candles lit around, kind of like votive type candles, and there is the scent of like a sandalwood kind of incense just kind of wafting through the air here. It's very quiet, solemn kind of atmosphere in here.
We just go say hello to people, or I don't see any books to read.
Perhaps we just come in and do a prayer.
Oh, well, that would
It is
be
a solemn
nice
place for experiencing.
to just sit in quiet.
Reflect.
I can't really do that, so maybe it's not the best place for me. I will probably ruin the quiet time for everyone else.
You do not necessarily need to be quiet, but this is the time to open up your mind and your senses to that which is beyond what we see.
Oh, okay. Do you see things that we don't see here?
Not so much with the eyes, but with the mind and with the spirit. And Ren decides he's going to go find a nice quiet spot and try that stupid meditating thing here,
Okay.
Amazing.
which he still thinks is stupid, to be clear, but he suddenly gets it that he might have more luck here. Shit, the tip is in next. Come on, Char. Dave playing soothing calliope music.
Soothing calliope music.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
It's all right. Dave listens to commands very well. So it's Ren.
Listen, Dave can read the room better than most of my students, okay?
Probably. So as Ren goes off to try their hand at some meditation and self reflection, what are the rest of you looking to do?
I'm trying not to interrupt anyone else's quiet time, but not able to really be quiet on my own. So I'm going to go find a place to talk to someone quietly away from other people who are being super quiet and just hang out, I suppose. Hello.
Jade, why don't you also go ahead and give me a religion check?
Okay. All right. That's a wonderful 8.
Okay.
I dice rolled a nat 20 earlier.
A 12.
12.
Okay. On a 12, you being a cleric of Twilight, a place space between spaces, you don't feel it as intensely as Ren does, but you do get that there is some kind of connection here between the cycle of life and death. Like it's almost kind of like a waiting room for souls to just kind of hang until they either go to one afterlife or the other. It's not a scary experience. Just, just kind of is.
Oh, that's lovely. I do like it here. She's just talking to herself in the corner. Just about how nice the place seems, and it's really nice, and I like the darkness with the candles. The candles make a really good improvement to the space. It would be too dark without the candles. And oh, that one smells like vanilla a little bit. And then that's just what's happening.
I think Nariko would be quiet and sort of respectfully moving through the space, just kind of, if there are any artworks, just sort of taking an appraising look. If there's any sort of inscriptions or like hieroglyphs denoting history or dogma, she's just kind of quietly studying those just to learn a little bit more about this place and its history.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, what it is here, this is all of the hieroglyphs and the artworks that you see here. It's not really a deep dive into history. It is kind of like a dogma, more of a dogma kind of thing, where a lot of what you see around here is about paying homage to the dead and um, a kind of quiet reflection and celebration of the lives of those who came before us. I'd kind of like stories of how people when they pass, how they go off to meet their various gods, move on to the afterlife, and those sorts of things.
Cool.
I think Yuki hearing Ren say they were going to go meditate. I think once Ren settles down into a spot, I think Yuki will go over, not super close, but close enough to provide any aid or assistance that Ren may need in how to meditate. I think Yuki will lend her purr and make some biscuits to kind of assist Ren in finding some peace and tranquility and zen to meditate.
Cool.
Ren is just tuning into the vibes of this place, and
Mhm.
he's feeling that it's really helping his fragmented mind kind of connect the strands a lot better than any other location they've been to. So while not everything is clear, he's feeling the connections are forming a lot more solidly than they had been up until now.
Nice.
Yes.
Was that with
Ren
that?
will now be better able to remember things.
Yay! Was that what that insight check was for?
That was exactly what that was for.
Amazing.
Listen, man, if you got a nat 20, he'd be like, yes, I remember everything. We're not quite there, but we're a lot better.
I am eternal.
I am inevitable.
I am forever.
uh,
I'm Batman for some reason right now. I don't know what's happening.
Professor Nuala, anything in particular that you guys would like to be doing in this space?
Is there anything more exciting than people being quiet here?
Not really.
Is to the professor, this really feels like going to work when it's an off day. I mean, he kind of wrinkles up his nose and slides his goggles back over his eyes, and he says, "And you're all done being quiet. I'm going to be out there. Maybe I'll find the stalwart hammer. I've got some questions. And he'll just kind of turn and peace out. And he just kind of waves over his shoulder back to the people behind him. He's like, enjoy your quiet contemplation and death god things. I'll be out here if you need me.
Oh, I'm going to come too. And just Jade will just scuttle after you. Just a really quick, very quick, small steps after you.
She'll scuttle. That was the
Scuttle.
best fucking descriptor.
Scuttling.
I just
Try not to
pictured
interrupt. Try not to interrupt anyone. She's staying close to the wall. She's scuttling. Tiny little feet. Exactly it.
I will follow them out.
Okay. So we got team not staying here, and team Wren kind of hanging inside this temple. So Wren, as you are meditating, kind of close your eyes, breathe in uh, uh, the um, the incense that's kind of wafting through this temple. Um, you have kind of a vision materialize in front of you, and what you see stepping out of the darkness, you see kind of an amorphous figure, kind of shrouded in this smoke and darkness. What is it that Wren is thinking about or meditating on in this moment?
Ren is just trying to let go of the physical and what's in front of him and trying to let his spiritual and mental self heal because he feels like he has the best chance of that happening here.
So, as you are focusing on healing, bringing yourself back together, this kind of vision of this cloaked figure comes into a little bit more into focus, and you see yourself. And this other Wren kind of approaches you and just says, hello.
This is odd.
It is not as odd as you think. You are in a temple of Anubis. It is a temple of death. And we are a visage of death. You are trying to commune and speak with yourself, so I am here.
Ren still regards the figure with curiosity. Do you have a message for me?
I do not have a particular message for you, but if you are trying to heal yourself, perhaps it is better to talk with someone who knows you best.
Yo, why are you trying to make my character talk? Come on, man.
No, character growth arc must happen.
Damn it, you guys. Come on. All right, fine. Focused.
We know what we like.
You do not have to talk to me if you do not want, but I am sure that there are questions that are burning in your brain, which is a mix of
Right.
A brain mind.
which is
Right.
a mix of
It's your
the
mind
words
brain.
brain and mind that I just made up.
I was going to leave you alone on that one. But gosh, okay, I'm trying to focus. What would Ren say to himself? Nothing. He doesn't trust that. Anyways. It's okay. You'd say even less if you look like the professor. So, good choice there. Do you know why I was brought back?
The other end kind of tilts his head a bit, expressionless, and says, Is it not obvious?
I have a role to play in these events that are happening to the world, tearing the world apart. There is no one else capable of this.
You are uniquely equipped along with your companions. Our companions, I should say we are the same person. For reasons yet unknown, however, your purpose here is greater than just simply existing, as I am sure we are aware. We have a gift that currently nobody else is able to tap into, and when we died, our time was cut too short. You may not remember why, but it is part of this rift between the worlds through which we met our end previously.
I'd begun to suspect that. What drew me there to begin with? I don't. That part is foggy.
It was the spores. We were um, we were researching the fungus spores in that cave under Moonhaven. They were odd and peculiar, and they seemed to be unique to just that location. And we wanted to test our poisons with them.
That is logical. I would want to seek out something new and unique. I then had no idea at that time that the barriers between the worlds were becoming more fragile. Mm. I appreciate the opportunity to balance what went wrong, to have a chance to live out my life and serve my purpose. Why this specific group? Why were they also chosen?
It is yet unknown to us why, but we are sure that this will be revealed in time.
What of our old companions? Will they manage without us?
We have already met a few of them. They
We
seem to be
have.
fine.
I begin to wonder if I can grow to see more than just surface appearances. It seems that growing is part of existence, and I would like to develop more beyond what we are now.
Perhaps it is that desire alone that will allow us to succeed.
Perhaps. Do you have any words of wisdom for me?
We may have a choice to make at the end of this journey, whether we wish to continue to experience life, or if we simply wish to return to Thanatos' side.
Would it be selfish if I wish to continue in this path?
That is probably for us to decide.
I seek your counsel in this.
Hmm. If you were to ask
You
me,
started this.
if you were to ask me your reflection, I do not believe that this is a selfish endeavor. We had a life, and we have one now. It would be silly to not experience all that there is. Or all that we desire, I should say.
I will reflect upon this.
Do you have anything else to add?
Do I really sound like that?
See the reflection of you just kind of shrugs a bit. We cannot help what we are.
That is true.
But I believe that we are the best versions of ourselves.
I'm inclined to agree with us. I
Excellent.
like what I'm becoming. Are you capable of joining us outside of this temple?
Hmm. Perhaps in moments of other self-reflection or meditation, perhaps we may be able to speak again outside of here.
Unfortunate. Does not suit my needs. I would have set you upon watching the professor when I was unable to.
We do have to sleep, I think.
An unfortunate truth. I am not sure if he needs to.
Mm.
That's what I got, man.
So you kind of had this conversation with the vision of yourself back and forth, some additional banter, and when you uh, are ready, you come out of your uh, meditation, out of your slight trance, feeling a little bit more enlightened, perhaps.
At least my brain feels a little better and not as scrambled, so that's a nice change.
uh, as you as you come back out of your meditative state, you kind of see Yuki is right next to you, kind of doing her purring thing.
Oh, Yuki, I apologize if I was ignoring you. I was deep in thought.
Yuki will open her eyes from sitting in her meditative state, and she'll say, Ren, no need to apologize. You are starting this meditative journey, and I am joyful to be with you while you begin, and to provide any assistance that I might be able to do. Did you find your experience? She kind of tilts her head. Helpful?
It was somewhat off-putting, but I believe I've made progress. Significant progress.
Yuki smiles and says, yes, sometimes the visions we see are not what we expect, nor do they tell us the answers we think they will. Um, Regardless, I am proud of you. She kind of like works her mouth for a minute, like, I don't know if that's the right word, but she's gonna go with it and say, I'm proud of you for tapping into this previously untested form of communication.
The energy in this place, it feels somewhat like home to me. And I believe it has helped more than anything else as a balm to help heal my mind.
Yuki will smile and nod, say, balms are there to soothe, to heal, not to erase, but to assist them moving forward. This is good.
What's happened to the others?
Mm, they are outside of the temple, um, doing, she shrugs, unsure what. Professor felt that being in here felt too much like work, so he excused himself to do professor things, and she'll just kind of gesture like wow with her hands.
And he was just complaining he was respected in his workplace. There's no pleasing that man. Although I suppose he is somewhat bored because there's a certain lack of books here.
I'm sure we will stumble across more artifacts and more libraries with more books to make him happy, but for now, is there anything else that you need, Ren? Is there anything else from this temple that you would like to explore? I'm happy to accompany you and offer whatever assistance I may.
I appreciate your company and your spiritual support, but I believe there is nothing more for me to gain here at this time. And while I do enjoy the peaceful atmosphere more than I can express, I believe we have things that must be done.
Yuki will nod, and in a uh, almost fluid movement, she will stand, flicking her tail to get the sand off of her legs and tail. And she'll say, fair enough. Shall we see what they have gotten up to without us?
Ren had also knelt on the floor, and he also gets up, but horses do not get up very smoothly. Click, 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 click,
No,
click, click,
no.
click.
Initially, I was like, oh, should Yuki help Ren up? Absolutely not. Nope.
No,
Nope.
let this play out.
Absolutely not.
But after much clickety-clacketing, Ren gets back up to his feet. He's not perturbed, although he did make lots and lots of noise on the beautiful concrete and marble of this temple. That's just how it goes. He might have ruined the quiet moment for now, but he's ready to join Yuki in finding their wayward companions wherever they have wandered off to.
I think as they walk out, Yuki will walk next to Ren, and she will kind of surreptitiously take her tail and kind of flick the sand off Ren's legs. That way he doesn't get itchy.
Thank you.
Yuki nods and will walk side by side with you to go find our wayward friends.
All right.
Your friends, your friends.
No friends!
Anything else here at the Temple of Anubis, or would we like to move on?
Ready to
Naruto
go.
has been
Oh, sorry.
culturally enriched. She has learned that apparently the ancient Kekabeshian word for a like sarcophagus basically translates into common into forever box, which was neat. Um,
That's how that works.
but no,
Not
once the clerical folks are on their way out, then Naruto will excuse herself from her tourism to rejoin them.
All right. So as our group makes their way out of the Temple of Anubis, where do we find the rest of our party?
I think Jade was just following Professor with Nuala. So they're probably just following him wherever he's going. And Jade's just talking with Nuala about if she liked the temples today. While Professor leads them
I found
wherever
it
he
to be
tells them.
quite fascinating.
They were interesting.
I really liked the temple of the very first one we went to. I thought that was really nice. They had all the books. We should probably go back there before we leave Ravenport forever, just because that would be nice. Also,
I did like all the books.
have more books. Toth? Temple of Toth? Because it's right. The Sekhmet one was the one where Yuki got in a fight with a stranger
Yuki,
who seemed really nice.
Yuki will smile and say, not a fight, just a
Oh, did you guys
spar.
catch up with us?
Yeah, I think
Oh.
so. Didn't we meet up with you guys?
I was doing this like as we were leaving.
Oh, fair. No. I will catch up with you later then.
Okay. Where do you want to go next, Nuala?
Honestly, into the mountains, just to see if we
Really?
can find anything. Not right now, because we have to wait for the others, but
Well, there was that tour of the that we got the pamphlet on. She'll dig through her bag to get the pamphlets, the 28 pamphlets that she just took of everything, some of which are the same tour but with different pictures on them. And she'll say, yeah, there was that man who does the guided tour out into the desert. We could probably book that and at least get 'cause I don't know if we want to go just wandering off into the desert without someone to guide us. At least a little bit,
yeah,
you know?
getting somebody that knows the area would probably be beneficial.
Yeah. Varian Sandwalker. That's his name. So I suppose when everyone else is done in the temples, we can go there and see if we can book a tour either today or tomorrow.
Sure.
It's kind of exciting to finally be like here again. It's a place where we met.
It seems like yesterday and also very long ago.
Yeah, it's been a long few weeks, but it's been nice.
I will say, now that I've seen other places, I'm not a fan of the desert.
Really? Why?
I like all the green plants, and there's very, very few here.
Oh, that makes sense. The plants are pretty. I like how warm it is here, though.
The warmth is nice.
Yeah. Oh, I lost sight of the professor. I don't know where he went now.
Are there places that get colder than where we've been?
Every place is cold. Aren't you cold?
No.
Oh, maybe it's just me then. This is the warmest place we've been so far. Everywhere else has been really cold.
You did seem to really like it when we were in the room with the lava.
Oh, that place is great. Do you think they have those here? Or is that not a desert thing?
Lava rooms?
Yes.
Maybe we can ask the tour guide?
Oh, that's a good idea. Let's do that. We'll ask about lava rooms and if he can take us to the mountains. Or where we'll go on his tour and then maybe he can take us to the mountains after the tour.
That seems like a good idea.
Yes. Sometimes I have them.
It's probably about this point that the rest of the group will catch up.
Hi everyone.
Hello.
Did you enjoy your quiet meditative reflections?
I found it to be extremely beneficial.
Oh, that's wonderful. I'm so glad.
What have you guys found?
I found this nice patch of sunlight and we lost the professor.
Only a patch of sunlight, and this is why I bought him the collar,
Why?
so we would not lose him.
I bet he did get lost. Well, I guess he's not lost. He went somewhere and I stopped to look at a thing and then I looked up and he was gone and then we were just talking.
I believe it still counts as being lost.
Oh. I think he said he was going to go back to the Temple of Sekhmet and talk to the Nuala, his friend from home, his friend from back home.
Ren frowns because some of that doesn't make sense, but okay, then perhaps we should go that way.
Yeah. Oh, and Nuala and I thought maybe we could ask after this, after we all get back together, we can go ask that Varian. I just had his name in the. He's the man in this pamphlet. who does the tours of the desert, and see if he could take us maybe on the tour and then to the mountains, so that we can go find things. Be a good idea, yeah?
Seems reasonable.
And then we get to go see all the historical things, which is also
That
very
would
nice.
be quite interesting.
We thought so.
Hmm. Shall we go then?
Sure.
So you guys are heading back to Sekhmet to try to find Professor.
Yeah.
Yep.
Professor, is that where you're at?
Who knows?
Professor is muted, maybe?
Is the professor with us? Is the professor in the room now?
Hello.
There you are.
Is he in the room now?
Yeah, the professor went to go find Nathala.
All right. Anything you want to discuss with Thaler in particular?
Yes.
Okay. So
He
yeah, so you head back to Sekhmet, and Nathala is still there. She's kind of recovering from getting her clock cleaned a little bit.
he'll come up and say, "Well, hello. How is your honorable loss?"
She kind of looks up at you, Professor, and she stands on your approach, and she says, "It, win or loss, a well-fought battle is always glorious."
It certainly looked glorious for Yuki. And he kind of smirks.
She was
He's like,
victorious.
"Nathala, I have a question for you.
Yes.
You know, when I saw you, what, 15 minutes ago, I was so excited because I saw a friend I haven't seen in so long, and I felt like there was so much to catch up on. And then I got to thinking that I don't know why. Because it seems to me that I remember you and your friends coming to me asking for help to revive that person and then get him back home. And then I vaguely remember meeting you again in another place. I can't, for the life of me, figure out why. Why are you so important to me when I've only really met you once or twice?
I'm going to send you a quick message.
Okay.
Secrets. I love your secrets song, by the way. I just want to let you know.
Sure, thanks, man. I've been doing it since the way back.
I know, and I love it.
Some things are just canon.
They are.
So Nathala kind of tilts her head as she looks at you, Professor, and she says, "You don't remember why we met?"
Well, I remember you coming to the academy where we first met, and I remember sending you on an errand to find someone strong enough to bring your friend back to life. But that's really it. And it's weird that I would feel so strongly that you're someone important to me for something as simple as that.
You set us on a path to disrupt a prophecy that would break the world.
He just blinks at her. No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
I would remember if I sent someone to save the world.
Then why do you not remember?
Because I didn't do it.
But you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Well, when? Was I sleep tutoring again?
You did not appear to be asleep. This was some years ago.
And I said you and all of your friends.
Well,
Wait.
you may not have sent us, but you at least put us on the path to complete what we had to do. Do you not remember the elven city shrouded in mist?
What? No. No. Wait. I mean, I know of such a place, but wouldn't. I don't know why I would think of that. I'm assuming because we're here having this ridiculous conversation that you were successful
Yes.
and you stopped the world from breaking
Yes.
because I sent you there.
Because you helped show us the way.
There's just like this visible look of concern, confusion, and then sudden like realization and almost horror. He's like, somebody has been tampering with my memories.
That is
Do
unfortunate.
you? He's like,
Nathala, that sucks for you.
right, Nathala, do you still have? Are you still a cleric, or are you just someone who punches things now?
I can do both.
Can you cast Greater Restoration?
Good question. You see, she looks at you, Professor, and she shakes her head a bit, and she says, I'm afraid I did not progress that far in my training.
Unfortunate. Right. Well, I have to go now. I'm going to church. I look forward to talking to you again when I remember why the hell I know you so well. And he will simply turn on his heels and with determination on his face, he'll just walk away as he just says, goodbye.
Goodbye.
And as everyone's kind of like heading on their way to this temple, they'll see him like walking, like briskly walking with a purpose and just like determination and almost anger on his face. And he just sort of rushes right past you to the point like you kind of feel the breeze flowing off of his coat as he walks like right past you back towards the temple of Wren's people.
Professor.
Oh, Professor.
I need a cleric. I need a cleric. A
Do you
good
have
like
two in your party?
you were clerics, and he's walking with you're good clerics, but you're not quite where I need you to be for this. I love you. I need someone stronger.
Oh, he says he loves us. That's really nice. I don't feel that way about you yet, but I really like you as a person and a friend.
What is wrong with him?
I
We're gonna
don't
start
know,
trotting after him.
really mad.
Is everybody following the professor?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Professor, what direction are you going?
Back to the Anubis temple.
Okay.
Oh, now you want the calm quiet. Mm-hmm.
I don't care about the calm and quiet. I just want to. Seems to me that a place like that would have the higher, more powerful clerics.
Thank you.
What do you need a powerful cleric for, Professor?
I have reason to believe that somebody has tampered with my memories. I don't like that.
I have permission to snicker at this situation later. I don't want to while you are angry, but
He kind of slows down and looks around. He's like, maybe I'm not angry. I'm just disappointed. No, I'm angry. And he starts walking fast again.
I figured that seemed to be it.
Why would anybody do this? Why would I possibly know that other people don't want me to know?
Well, Professor, if you're missing memories, wouldn't that more fall under the purview of knowledge? Would perhaps Thoth be the better temple to go to?
Don't interrupt him. He is on a roll.
Okay.
Yes,
But the other one had all the books.
that is true. And He kind of slows down and looks up at the temple of Anubis before going in. He's like, force of habit, this place just feels familiar. Yes, you are correct. He will turn on his heels and then briskly walk towards the other temple.
I mean, it was
Is this
just a
part of what
suggestion.
you've forgotten?
You worked for Pelennor, which is more of a death god. I don't know if he was involved. I'm spitballing here. You're don't do science when you're angry. You won't think clearly.
Go ahead, see if he will turn back again. I want to see.
Oh dear.
I'm not doing science, I'm doing religion. It's very different.
It is
You
kind
are
of
doing stress. Try to calm down.
I will calm down when I am good and ready to calm down. I'm not calm.
Professor,
I'm
give
sorry.
You're kept remembering something that is stressful to you.
If I remember, then I'll be able to calm down. I don't know if I'm stressed. I'm stressed about not knowing if I'm stressed. And if I'm stressed about not knowing if I'm stressed, and how am I supposed to stop being stressed about being stressed but not knowing if I'm stressed?
Oh, I can help you with this. You are stressed.
Professor, give me an insight check with disadvantage for stress.
Insight check?
Insight, yeah.
It's
Even in your stressed form, Professor, which your DM rolled that roll to me, but that's fine.
oh,
But I don't. I mean, I don't care. I can still see it. Even in your stressed state, Professor, you like the noise gets really, really loud for a moment in your head, and as everyone's kind of talking at you, and you're just kind of rambling, and you kind of turn on your heels, you face the Temple of Thoth, and you kind of like stop for a minute, and you take a breath, and you're like, okay, and you just kind of deep breath in, deep breath out, push out, kind of all of the noise for a moment, and there is a slight moment of clarity that you have as you are staring at the Temple of Thoth. What was who inhabited that temple? There was a lot of knowledge going on, a lot of book learning. Associate that with more wizards. What you need, if you're looking for someone who can do greater restoration, as you said, I'm doing more of a religion thing. What you really need is more of someone with a cleric skill set, which would actually be more suited at the Temple of Anubis.
I fucking hate you.
Hey, I put that. That's where I put the NPCs, man.
He turns around, scowls at Wren, and then briskly walks back to the Temple of Anubis. I don't want to hear it.
I think as he turns around again, Yuki has been like following him, like back and forth, like to each temple. She's gonna stop him and grab his shoulders, and she's gonna say, "Professor, take a minute." She's going to wrap you in a hug, and with that hug, you will feel her purring, and in that moment, it gives you a distraction. It stops you from this spinning that you've been in since talking to Nathala, and you are forced by Yuki to just stand still for a minute.
He gets wrapped up in tabaxi, and his arms just like tighten around and pull in, and he almost bristles, like the hair on the back of his neck kind of raises up, and he just, his eyes widen. He's like, what are you doing?
Professor, take a minute. I cannot imagine what you are thinking right now. I cannot imagine how angry you are to know that someone has altered your memory. But this spinning must stop.
He just looks at her and he's like, are you implementing prevention and management of aggressive behavior activity on me?
You feel her smile as she just has you wrapped up in a hug. Is it working?
He rolls his eyes and just lets his body slump. He's like, I can't believe you PMAB'd me.
What?
Feeling him relax and not being so tense in the moment, Yuki will step back. She will release him. But she will still hold onto his shoulders and say, now that you've been PMAB'd, take a breath. Where do you need to go? What do you need?
He kind of leans in and says, and kind of gestures to the Temple of Anubis, and he's like, over there.
Yuki will look. She will look back at him and nod. She said, well, then let's go. And she will step back and allow Professor to walk forward to the
Oh my god, what
temple.
just happened?
He kind of dusts his jacket off. He's still wearing like goggles and this this umbrella thing attached over his head. And he just sort of dusts off his sleeves and he's like, I want you to remember this when I hug the balance out of you the next time you get upset at somebody.
Yuki again smiles and says, understood.
He'll like casually take off these gifts and kind of put them all into his pocket in a way that it shouldn't fit, but it does. And then he will proceed to the temple.
Yuki will follow.
Ren's trotting after them. He's finally quieted down because Professor does seem to be quite stressed and he is willing to help.
So after that moment of clarity, you head back towards the Temple of Anubis again. This simple temple, wide open congregation space, nice and dark, lit votive candles all around, torches kind of lighting your way. What do you do when you arrive?
I look for the nearest clerically looking person he can find, and then
Young priest.
he's looking for someone who looks like, yeah, you look like someone who could cast this spell. Like, you look like a cleric, but you're just wearing robes. You don't look nearly high enough level. That one has a bunch of chains attached to pockets and zippers that lead nowhere. That's the one I need. That's the Kingdom Hearts cleric. I need that one.
Give me a perception check. There currently seems to be only one attendant going around. It's the same one that you saw from earlier, wearing kind of simple black robes, gold trim, wearing a simple black and gold, kind of almost sort of veiled headdress, I guess.
He will wander over to this person and he just sort of wanders up, kind of stops in front of this person, and he will sort of bow a little bit, trying to be as respectful as he can. He's like, hello, I don't know what the clerics of your order are called. Reverend Shadow, Doomsayer, Father Mother, Silence Keeper, High Mortal. Hello, I'm the Professor. I need your help.
You see, she turns to you, and she's a little bit shorter than you are. She's younger than you would expect a priestess to be. Probably like mid-20s, human, darkish hair. Kind of delicate features, actually, believe it or not. And not as goth as one might think in this kind of place. She kind of looks at you with a simple but genuine smile and nods a bit. And she says, "You may call me High Priestess if you wish. I'm High Priestess Serene."
He goes to say something and then stops with his mouth open, like High Priestess Serene. It is a very fitting name. Hello, High Priestess Serene. I am the Professor. I am in need of divine intervention, so to speak.
And
Are you capable of helping me with such a thing?
there are many things that I can help with. What is it in particular that you're looking for?
I need a casting of greater restoration.
Hmm. Yes, that I can do.
And what does your master demand in recompense for such assistance?
She smiles at you and she kind of looks to the two tombs that are to either side of you. You guys are kind of like up towards the altar at this point where you would have met her. Again, the big ankh hanging on the wall behind her. You're kind of standing in between these two tombs. There's a wide space between them, with the statues of the Anubis kind of laying on top of them. And she says, "No demands, but I would simply ask for an offering for our patrons here." She nods to the two tombs.
Oh, sure. Who are they? Who were they?
You may take some time to look and reflect upon the inscriptions at the base of the tombs if you like.
Okay. Um, sure. And you
Part,
kind of
it is all part of the experience, she kind of continues, that it is not simply a place to just kind of leave your offerings and run. This is a place of reflection after all, and to think about those and to celebrate the lives of those who have come before us, to especially those who have had a hand in giving us all that we have.
he trots over and kind of looks over the plate. So he's like, yes, yes, respectful and putting in your time and respect. I probably met a lot of the people who passed through here. Maybe I might know these ones. And he kind of like almost gets down on his hands and knees to investigate the the places here, the tombs and the placards.
Give me a moment, I am typing something out. Uh, fuck, how do I spell that?
It sounded out.
Fuck.
Damn!
Huckh.
I'm here to help you.
So
I'm
you
always
see,
here to help you.
so you see, a plate. It's very simple, gold etched at the base of each of these tombs, and there are a number of different offerings that are around there. There are food, there are small concealable even weapons are kind of laid around. There are flowers. There is uh, food, wine, incense kind of laid at the base of these tombs. Uh, and while the name is different on each of these tombs, what comes after is the same.
Oh, okay. Okay. You will furrow his brows. He's like, okay. Um, it's give me a moment. He kind of scratches his chin and digs into his his pocket and pulls out a journal and flips through the pages. Not up to my Hecabean ritual respects. And I know I wrote something about this here somewhere. You know what? Yeah, thank you for your services And here is a little something for your troubles. And he will lay a silver piece in front of each placard.
As you kind of take it in and you kind of watch as you kind of go from one to the other, take your time to kind of reflect and think and kind of recall whatever historical facts or personal connections you feel you have. Uh, the priestess just kind of smiles and quietly watches you, and when you finish laying your offering, she smiles upon you, and she takes a thin, dainty hand, and she kind of places it on your head so that like her thumb is like on your forehead, and she says to you, "Thank you. Are you ready?"
You're welcome. Yes, I'm ready. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And please.
She closes her eyes, and you feel the swell of holy magic kind of fill the room a bit, and it comes on like a bit of a headache for you, one that kind of starts very dull but grows in intensity until it almost reaches a feverish pitch where it feels like your head is about to just rip itself apart. But then, as soon as it kind of hits that crescendo, it begins to dull down again, and your vision, kind of whitens a bit. It kind of you feel a little bit extra sensitive to light for a moment, but then that too, after a moment, fades away, and uh, after a minute or two, she pulls her hand away from your head. She kind of folds her hands in front of her and gives you a nod, and uh, with that completed, the Greater Restoration has been cast.
He lets out a long sigh of relief as memories start to flood back. And then he's a pasty guy. He's a ginger, his human form, but he pales, turns like stark white, and his eyes kind of wide. And he's like, I remember. Oh, I remember. I joking. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. High Priestess, I appreciate you. And he looks to his friends like, and I appreciate all of you.
We appreciate you too, Professor. What's wrong?
What is happening, Professor?
Nothing. It's fine. It's fine. Let's go. We were going to go on a tour. We want to go on a tour. Let's go into the desert and wander around and tour things. And he's going to sort of march out in this really animated, like arms moving, almost like actual marching, arms up and knees up. And he's like, let's go to the desert. This is a good idea. I've got a lot of good ideas. That's definitely one of them.
I'm gonna share a look with Nuala, and then back to the priestess. Did you break his brain a little bit? Does he need a moment?
Sometimes when a restrictive magic has been removed from someone, everyone seems to react a little bit differently.
Oh, but he's okay. That's not a permanent thing.
She kind of shrugs a bit and she says, "Well, it's nothing that I've done."
Oh, good. Okay.
Yuki's gonna look at Ren and ask, do you think he needs another hug?
No, I believe he wants us to get far away from Ear so he can tell us something.
Yuki will nod. Then let us go. And she will walk right after Professor.
Ren's trotting too.
Okay. I'm gonna scuttle after them.
Keep
Again
on
with the
scuttling.
Scuttle.
Again with the scuttle.
She wears
Yeah.
her shoes are doing that thing because she's got little heels on her shoes, and it's doing that like when there's like a short person who has a fast pace and is walking very quickly, but their strides are very short. It's doing that all the way down on the stone.
I love it.
At this point, as you re-exit the Temple of Anubis, the sun starts to get a little higher in the sky. It's getting on about lunchtime at this point.
If he's not interested in food, then we know it's quite serious.
Yeah. Do we ask him if he wants food, or do we just wait to see if he stops for food?
I
think
believe
we
we
should
should follow
ask.
him.
Okay.
I think we should ask as we follow him. And
Okay.
Yuki will lift her voice and say, "Professor, it is getting close to lunchtime. Before we go on a tour and wander in the desert, should we maybe get something to eat first?"
He kind of stops once they get out into the street, and he kind of like leans over, like his hands on his thighs, and he's just like kind of rocking a little bit as he tries to catch his breath. When it almost sounds like he just ran a great distance, but it's more of a trying to get his hyperventilating under control. He's like, "I have got an apple. It's okay. Let's go."
Professor, you don't look okay. What's wrong? You can tell us.
Just need a minute here. Ooh, okay.
Yuki will, as Professor's leaning over, trying to catch his breath, Yuki will take her paws and she will begin to purr and she will rub them together, putting some energy, working her ki into her paws. And as she does that, her purr gets a little louder and she takes her paws and she will put one at the back of the professor's neck and one in the middle of his back. And he will feel an infusion of calm and zen from her ki.
This sounds like a chill up his spine, and he almost like jumps away from you. Like, it's okay, it's all right. I just need to catch my breath. It's okay. Just one moment. I'm not
It's
freaking.
okay.
I'm freaking out a little bit, but it's fine. Okay.
It's okay, Professor. If you need some time, it's okay. It's okay.
It's imperative that this is fine, and we talk about this.
Okay.
And I'm just trying to. Okay. I remember, and I was right. And someone did cast Modify Memory on me some time ago.
Okay.
I don't think I can go home. It was my boss.
The Mage Academy boss?
He nods. Like, I
What?
knew something that she not that boss, like the academy boss.
Not my boss.
Yeah, like not like the boss, but a boss, kind of like the sub. Anyways, I knew something that she felt I shouldn't know, and I still know that. Well, I discovered it again. Okay, from the beginning. Okay. Back home, there was, I guess, probably everywhere, there was this thing, this prophecy that the world would break if it was not brought back into balance. I'm noticing a lot of this balance theme recently. Anyways,
Yuki smiles.
balance in all things. So at the very beginning, long time ago, long time ago, the elements of this world that make up everything included one that was sealed away a long time ago and cut off from this world, and the absence of that one element caused it to destabilize, and I played a large role in sending Nathala and her friends on a quest to release that element back into this world.
Why does it sound like you're about to say that wasn't a good thing to do?
That element was the void.
Oh.
Why am I not surprised?
I discovered the void again on my own, but that's what she took from me.
She.
You do have a talent for finding trouble, sir.
Okay.
In my
But
defense, I didn't find that trouble. That trouble found me, and that trouble is in that temple getting that ass kicked by every tabaxi from here to Uzara.
okay, I'm gonna circle back for a bit.
Seems a bit excessive.
So, before you came here, you already found the void. And you what?
I didn't personally find it, but I set the people who did on the path to finding it. Or at least partly.
Okay, but they didn't because it's, I mean, obviously.
But they did. We're still here because they did. They released it back into this world. People can use the void. They have access to it because it's no longer sealed away.
So, you're saying that you set your friends on a course to allow for the cult to access the void again?
Yes.
Well, that's not great.
It's not great. It's not great. It's not great. He's like kind of wandering, kind of pacing. He's like running his hands through his hair. Like, it's not great. It's not great.
Okay. All right. Before you spiral, does
What?
this change what our immediate goals are?
No,
What Red said.
really.
Well, that's at least a plus. We still know what we're doing.
Okay. So, it just means that you have a little bit more history than you thought you did. Because you tried to circumvent a prophecy that was probably a lie. That happens.
I'm not entirely sure that was a lie. That's neither here nor there. That's water under the bridge. It's done. I think it's just, I just need to come to terms with the fact that a lot of people suffered because of this. And that.
Ren trying to say something?
No, go on, go on.
I feel that perhaps doubling down on trying to understand this whole thing is probably the best thing I could do at this point, because I don't know if it's going away. And if it goes away, I don't know if it's a good thing for it to go away, because I don't want the world to destabilize and break with its absence. So understanding it and finding a way to live alongside it or cleanse it or something is probably our best bet. It changes nothing in our current course. We're still looking for temerity. We're still trying to figure out what all this is, stop people from hurting people, get Nariko married. All of this, nothing changes.
That one can wait a while.
Yeah,
That one can be fine. That's fine. It's not.
we'll get there.
Whenever we get there. Okay. Do you need a hug or a hot chocolate or a banana or something?
Why do you have some?
No,
Where did you
I can
find a
get you some.
banana?
I have a hug, but I don't have any food. But I could get it for you if it would make you feel better.
It's fine. I
have a candy from the last town we were in, and they were on the bedside, and I kept it because I kept it. But you can have it.
It's all right, Jay. Thank you. I appreciate you.
I appreciate you.
Thank you for hanging about while I have my meltdown. But I'm okay now. I'm
I'm
okay.
used to panic attacks. It's okay.
It's fine.
It is going to be okay.
Right. Did somebody say it was lunchtime? Because I could probably eat.
Yes. Why don't we get a
Yes.
lunch, and then we can go and we can find the. I just had his name in the pamphlet. The man who has the place that we can go to the tour in the desert.
Yes, him. I need to have words with him as well.
Oh, do you know? Did you remember him? Is he a
No,
friend too? Oh,
no. Turns out that of anybody around here who might have an inkling to the practice of void magic, apparently he does.
Curious.
what?
That's what they said in the temple back there.
Oh,
They weren't sure if he was a practicing disciple of the void, but he's the closest thing that we have to a lead on anyone who might be dabbling. And hopefully, if they're just operating a tourism thing, that if they know what they're doing, if they are indeed actually practicing, then this could be amazing to have someone who's not out of their mind able to talk to us and help me understand and learn in a positive and safe way.
well, I guess if there's anyone who's not trying to actively end the world, who knows how to use the magic, it's probably a good thing to meet them.
We should probably get food first.
Right, let's go get food. Let's have a lunch, and then we'll go find Valerian, Val Kilmer, and we'll go get a tour and maybe some magic lessons.
Well, that just sounds like the perfect Saturday afternoon. I don't
It's
know
two
what day
things.
it
We
is.
can all do two things, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Food and desert. Unless there's anything anybody else would like to do before we do those things, I think I've occupied everyone's attentions long enough.
You can occupy our attentions, Professor. We like your attentions. That sounds weird to say that. Everyone needs time. And we're your friends. So you have as much time as you need.
Well, I appreciate that. There's a lot of appreciation. Do you need a cake? Should I get you like an appreciation cake?
I'm good.
Maybe like
Let's
a
just go
pie of
get a lunch. How about we get a lunch and we get like
roasted
a
ham?
crate?
All right. I might get the ham anyways.
That's fine.
So it's easy enough to find food on your way around the town. There are many stands, cafes. Again, kind of fare you can find here would be all sorts of roasted meat on the spit, and there are gyros and shawarma and lamb stews and just kind of fruits and vegetables.
I think Yuki again will kind of lead into the excitement of all the food that she is used to, and she will kind of link her arm through Professor's in a an attempt to kind of brighten his mood again and kind of drag him around, showing him this exciting food, and that exciting food, and oh, did you know how they make this and they use this and that? And she's going to kind of like kind of try to brighten his mood with tasty food.
He'll follow along, but he's like, I've been here before, right? I studied here for like a month.
Right, but do you know the insider's secrets?
Insider secrets about what?
About what food to match with what to make it the best culinary experience you've had.
Are you trying to brighten my day by catering to the things I enjoy?
Yuki is just grinning. Absolutely. She's not even trying to hide it.
You're not even remotely subtle at this.
Would you prefer me to be subtle and attempt to trick you? I thought tricking you was something that was not advisable.
No, I just want to know if you tried mixing pickle juice with your hummus because it's absolutely delicious.
That is the only way to have it. Have you tried mixing hummus with pickle juice and shawarma?
That's just ridiculous. Why would you do that?
I guess you'll have to try it and find out.
And he will.
Uh,
So you take this small culinary tour of Wayvernport. If you are looking to catch the caravan out into the desert, as you would know from the pamphlets and other information that you would have collected from around town, you would know that to do so, you would have to meet the excursion desk at the museum, which is down in this area right here, this golden booby dome right down here.
I love this museum. You might have to go in without me, though. I will wait outside. If they take, if you have to buy tickets, and I'll give you money to get one for me.
Why? We have to wait?
I'm not sure I'm allowed in there anymore.
Why wouldn't you be allowed in the museum?
Did you take something?
No, I didn't take anything. It's all big misunderstanding. I ended up getting arrested here. I was really into the one of the exhibits, and I stayed a little bit too long until after closing, and then I couldn't get out, so I tried to get out, set off the alarms. It was this whole big mess, and they didn't like me here then, and I'm not sure if they remember me or not.
Giant crab popped out. It was madness.
You know how hard it is to keep a straight face while you tell people that you have crabs.
But as you approach the museum, I have a little bit of art for that. Um, looks a little bit like this upon approach.
Oh,
Kind of open air
gorgeous.
with a nice courtyard in the center. Lots of artifacts kind of out for display. Some of the more valuable ones contained under glass. A lot of it is dedicated to telling the history of the Kingdom of Kagabesh. There are um, different, all sorts of different displays and exhibits that you are free to peruse if you like. Um, Otherwise, you know that there is an excursion desk within this museum that touts the excursions out into the desert to see some of the excavated ruins, led by, as you pointed out, Varian Sandwalker.
Do we have time to look at the museum for a little while, or should we check to see what time the tour leaves first and then look at the museum?
Probably best to see what time the tour leaves first, and then if we have time, we will check out the museum.
Okay.
I think Yuki will head to the excursions desk and see what time the tour is.
So as you head to the desk, there is an attendant there, and there are attendants kind of wandering all throughout this place. All of them, and you can tell who they are because they wear these kind of like white-colored jackets, like these white-colored like suit jackets, sport jackets, blazers, whatever you want to call them. So you see one of these attendants behind the desk, and she looks at you, Yuki, as you approach, looking for this information, and she'll tell you that the next excursion will meet there in about an hour. As with entering the museum, there is no cost, but they do have a quote-unquote suggested donation of 1 silver piece.
Mm-mm. Yuki will thank them for the information, and she will give them a silver piece.
Tell you, oh, great, thank you very much for your donation. please meet back here in an hour.
And Yuki will go back to the crew and tell them that the tour will meet there in an hour, so they have an hour to look around the museum.
Oh, yay! Jade is immediately gone. Immediately goes and looks at something that looks really cool off to the side that looks like amazing.
And we have lost her.
She's holding very tight to her staff, so she doesn't like touch anything she's not supposed to touch, but is very close to a lot of the stuff.
So if you were to, so with an hour to kill, if you were to kind of roam about this museum, there are several different exhibits that are set up. Like I said, a lot of it's centering around the kingdom of Kakabesh. There are exhibits on daily life, travel and trade, art and artifacts, flora, fauna, and fossils, and a tribute to Sepka, Emperor of the Eternal Shifting Sands.
I'm learning so much.
Does anyone have anything specific they would like to look at more in depth, or do you
I'm
want to just
obviously
kind of?
going to look at the Snapcut exhibit.
For real.
I got his autograph. I have a book with his names. I've got all the Thorns of the Black Rose stuff. I'm going to that exhibit.
Yuki will follow her to Sepka's exhibit.
She's doing it very quiet the whole time. The whole time.
So it's
She met the guy. She met him, and she's more excited to be here right now, in a weird way.
So it's almost an entire wing of this museum that's dedicated to that, because of course there would be. That's more of just a very large room, and there are a few artifacts and other things that are kind of displayed around. Everything in here is basically under glass, and they all tout that they were donated by the man himself. There is a replica death mask and sarcophagus, an oil lamp that supposedly once housed an Afridi, the quote-unquote Shroud of Sepka that was donated by the Siren Song, a goblet that he supposedly drank the poison from that killed him, the God King's palanquin, and some garments like ceremonial robes, sandals, jewelry, that sort of thing.
What do you think? It looks like a bed sheet. Do you think, what is a shroud? It's got little blue flowers on it. I don't understand.
See, are you kind of like wandering that out loud?
Yeah, totally.
So, one of the attendants comes over with the white jackets, like a male black-skinned tiefling, kind of comes around and he says, yes, the Shroud of Sepka. Well, it is pretty much a bed sheet.
Oh,
Uh, if you believe the story, though, it's basically just well, if you ask me, it's just a sheet that Sepka slept on once.
so why is it called a shroud?
Kind of shrugs and says, marketing.
Oh, I guess it does get people interested to see the exhibit. He just slept on it, right?
As far as we're aware.
Oh, good. He didn't like die in it. That would be morbid.
No.
Oh, good. Okay. It looks too new. Well, thank you. Do you have other interesting things to share or show or stories to tell?
Well, what kind of things are you interested in?
History.
Well, you are in a museum.
Yes. It's great.
So that's pretty much everything here.
Oh, good.
There is an interesting piece, though, that's over in the art and artifacts section. I believe our curator is there now, kind of working on things in that section. It's a particular piece that she likes particularly,
Ooh,
if you're
okay.
into art.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know much about art. Let's go. Let's go see.
So
Just
you
goes off.
so you head
Just
off.
goes.
You head off to the art and artifacts section with whoever else around you, trying to keep up. You see there, uh, kind of cleaning off some of the displays and making sure that everything is rightly visible. There is a middle-aged female, a middle-aged woman. She's tall and slender. She has piercing blue eyes, graying hair pulled back into a neat bun. Her body language exudes an air of authority and professionalism the way that she walks. She wears a finely tailored light cut suit and wears subtle jewelry that speaks to a refined yet understated taste. Should look a little bit like this.
Oh, she's hot.
Whoa.
Damn it. Where's Lorelai? Where's Lorelai to hit on this woman and then also steal some stuff from this woman? JJ's gonna be interested and it's wasted on her.
So here in the art and artifacts section, what you'll see different artworks on papyrus, textiles, woven rugs, tapestries, sandstone sculptures. Much of their art dedicated to their gods, including the pharaohs who were gods present on the material plane. There's even kind of some textiles that are up that display a royal succession of the emperors. And as you gaze your eyes around this section here, on the opposite wall, um, you see that there is hung a series of paintings that were done on a sandstone wall that has been kind of moved and transplanted here. Um, it's kind of seems to tell a story in 3 panels.
Story.
What was that?
What's the story? I'm reading it, looking at it, whatever the pictures are.
So what you see in the first panel is an image of a fully robed man with darkened skin speaking privately with the image of a god king. The second panel is the god king directing a group of workers to build a temple in the mountainside. The third image shows the god king ascending to the sky from the top of a pyramid under a full moon that has been given a single large eye.
Naruto!
Yeah,
Naruto. Oh, you're right here. I'm sorry, I got lost in the thing. Did you see? Did you see? There's a thing. Did you see this?
I, she looks at the enormous wall mural in front of her and says, "Yes, I didn't miss it. I see it."
Oh, good. Okay.
You're thinking that the shadowy figures and Temple in the Mountains are probably relevant to our interest.
Probably, or at least that's where the cave was.
A lot of things in the mountains.
Yeah. So it's been around for a while at least.
Is there any sort in the mural, like any sort of geographic like landmarks that one might be able to use to know if they were close to the particular site depicted here?
Let's see. What would be a good skill to compare art to real life?
Um,
I could say.
Calligrapher supplies, probably not.
I would even say.
Perception,
Yeah,
investigation.
I would say like perception or even like nature or survival?
Okay. I just realized I haven't had to roll any dice until just this moment. No, Kitty, out of the way. Let's roll.
Yuki,
Ooh,
make
that's
this
good.
roll with
How about you?
advantage.
Oh, cool. The
Thank goodness.
first die roll was a 19, so let's see if I can do better than that. Nope.
That's better.
So 19 plus guidance plus perception is a 28.
I think Yuki and Darko kind of clicks at the same time as you're looking at the third panel. The surrounding environment that has been kind of artistically laid out here. It even Yuki, I think you particularly know like the spot is certainly on the northern face of the Zephyrin Mountains.
Gotcha. Is there a little informational placard about this mural to explain to visitors what they're looking at?
No informational placard, but as you are all kind of staring at this thing, the woman who the previous tenant kind of clued out was the curator. She kind of comes up behind you and she kind of says in this contemplative voice, and she says, "It's a wonderful work of art from an early people, don't you think?"
It's really intricate.
Yes. I was curious to know which of the many illustrious god kings was depicted in this particular piece.
She smiles a bit and she says, "Well, we don't really know for sure, but we believe it was the last god king of Kekebesh on Kesh."
Ah, okay.
The dating seems to come back to the latest periods that the kingdom survived, and soon thereafter seems to have vanished to history.
Thank you. I suppose the whole collapse of the kingdom remains something of a mystery since our best source on that is Mr. Sepka, and he was indisposed just before that all went down.
Well, we have asked him about it, and his theory is that because of his untimely death back in that age and his seat usurped, that there was some kind of curse that befell the kingdom, if you believe in that sort of thing. Yeah, locusts and earthquakes and storms and blazing, unrelenting sun, that sort of thing.
I love the thinking of this lady of like curses, if you believe in that sort of thing. Talk to an actual mummy risen from his grave by an ancient curse.
No, it must be something
Curses,
else.
curses that end an entire civilization, if you believe that sort of thing. Don't they have heroes? We have them save the world all the time. That seems a little excessive.
No, it must be something else. Has to be.
It's probably something else.
I love the idea that it was actually just completely normal factors, like it was just this universe's version of the Bronze Age collapse, but everyone.
It really was. Yeah,
It was just like,
sometimes shit just falls over. It's fine.
no, we had a bit of climate change. The sea peoples invaded, and there was a crop failure. So everyone just fucked off from the cities. It wasn't sustainable anymore.
But also, like the curse thing, right? No, bro, it's just
No, definitely not a curse.
regular. It's fine.
No, I'm sure. I'm sure usurping the divine mandate did not piss off the pantheon of gods in any way, shape, or form whatsoever.
Totally no.
Okay. Well, Narco just sort of says, "Oh, well, thank you. You must be the curator."
I am, yes. Althea Sandstone.
Everyone has fun names here. Well, we were just over at the Sepka exhibit, and we're making our way over here to the art exhibit. Are there any pieces here aside from the mural that you think are especially worthy of um, examining further?
She kind of looks around and she says, there's a lot of art that is uh, dedicated to their gods, but I find this to be the most intriguing, the most fascinating. It tells quite a different story than any other piece that we have here in the museum, and honestly, it is probably my favorite piece here. If you don't mind if I indulge in talking about it for a moment.
I'd love to hear what you have to say.
So the way I interpret this, and she kind of follows along with each of the panels, the way I interpret this, we see a visual representation of a pivotal moment in the mythology of the Kakabeshians. In the first panel, we witness a mysterious figure, likely a priest or an oracle, communing with the divine in a secluded chamber. The darkened skin of the robed man suggests a connection to the earth and the primordial forces of nature, while the presence of the God King hints at a sacred dialogue between mortal and deity. As we transition to the second panel, we witness the manifestation of divine will in the physical realm. The God King, depicted with regal authority and divine power, directs a group of laborers in the monumental task of building a temple dedicated to the gods. The mountainside location symbolizes the sacred union between heaven and earth, where mortals strive to create a dwelling place worthy of divine presence. In this final panel, we witness the ascension of the God King as he transcends mortal limitations and ascends to the realm of the heavens. The pyramid, a symbol of earthly power and spiritual ascent, serves as a conduit between the earthly realm and the celestial spheres. The full moon, with its single large eye, evokes the all-seeing gaze of the divine, watching over the God King's ascent and affirming his newfound status as a celestial being. In essence, I believe that this mural captures the timeless themes of divine communication, earthly manifestation, and spiritual transcendence, offering a glimpse into the mythic worldview of these ancient people and their enduring quest for their connection with the divine. That's my take on it, anyway.
Not so much like um, just I'm very curious, just from the way you describe anything. Did you happen to write a thesis paper? And if so, was this mural the topic?
It's one of the things that I have wrote about in a few journals, yes.
Okay, Naruko immediately, like as soon as she started talking, was like, "You are doing the over examination of someone who needed to like write some sort of like journal in your field about a topic that no one else cares about."
Yeah, I
Do
mean,
you
well,
have the journal for sale that we could buy that we could read too?
yeah, sure. You could exit through the gift shop. You'll find many things that we offer here. We have many replicas of some of the
Oh,
artifacts that are here on display. We have uh, uh, scientific journals on history and uh, things of the
is your
sort.
journal there?
Yes,
Oh, good. Okay.
Ren, what are you inciting?
Ren does not fully understand the conversation, but he's sure that this woman is full of crap.
Yuki having some trouble as well.
So you don't find this picture to be ominous or anything?
Mm, I don't take it as ominous. Do you?
Well, I suppose it should be both.
How so?
Well, I mean, if he's meeting someone in secret that no one else can either see or isn't allowed to talk to, and then no one else really knows who it was he was speaking with and what they were trying to get him to do. And then the second one, you know, having people go and act your will without really knowing and understanding what it's for. And then in the third one, he's leaving them all behind or being taken, potentially. And then, I mean, it came right before Kekabesh fell, so. But I mean, it's both ways are good. Yours is really more in depth than mine. I just thought maybe, if
Well,
you look at it without really knowing anything.
I suppose that is one way to look at it, sure, but when you look at how these kings ruled their lands, they often talked of being even descended from the divine. So I see it as no different as a priest or a cleric talking to or communing with their deities in private. Would you not agree?
No, but maybe. Yes, I don't know. It's interesting.
Well, that's not really an answer, but okay.
Okay, sorry, I don't know enough to be able to give a real in-depth answer like you did. I think it is also possible that it's a warning. Or maybe it's just a really pretty picture.
Well, very rarely did the ancient people draw such writings and make such drawings without some kind of purpose behind it, or without telling some kind of story. Now, it's hard to believe that someone actually ascended in view of the kingdom, but so that leads me to believe that this is perhaps some kind of.
Maybe he was just flying.
People do that, yes, they do, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps he was
Professor does
flying.
that.
Oh, well, I can't.
Oh, I can't either.
Yes.
Oh, that's okay.
Right. Well,
But I still like your interpretation. I think it's much nicer.
well, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Anyway, well, that's my favorite piece that we have currently on display.
Do you think the full moon is important to whatever ritual or thing is happening in this picture? Or is it just because it was an important time, regardless, for whatever mystical things tend to happen?
The full moon has a lot of importance for many different cultures and many different religions. It happens only once a month, so many people they would perform their rituals under the full moon. They felt it as a spiritual, sacred moment.
It is typically a time for renewal.
Exactly.
Hey Joe,
Mm-hmm.
when's the next full moon?
Give me a nature check.
Can I have advantage because I have a hobby of reading astrology pamphlets?
Sure.
I love the little Neville sigh.
I was just about to ask, like,
Because
Ren
of
when the
course
next full moon is.
the fucking temple that like seems to appear only sporadically. It's
Right? That was
man.
my thought too. I'm like, oh, it comes and goes, and
It's
no
like
one can really
fucking
tell why. I was about to ask Ren, like, when's the next full moon?
All right.
it's like
Thankfully,
fucking Brigadoon up in here.
Right?
thankfully, I'm not trained, but I do have a high intelligence, so that is a 19 on the nature check.
The next full moon will be in 8 days.
8 days. Cool. Cool, 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 cool. Timing. Margaret's just making a note to herself for later, anticipating future things that need to be done. All right. Well, Naraka doesn't have any more questions about this wing of the museum.
So the curator Althea is more than happy to answer any further questions that you have. Otherwise, you are able to roam around the rest of this museum and look at any other of the exhibits that are kind of hanging out here. Or we can just kind of fast forward to when you guys are ready to head out on your expedition, if you still want to do that today.
Is the expedition itself free?
So as Yuki would tell you that the expedition to get out into the desert, there is no actual there's no required cost or fare or ticket price or anything like that. They just
Oh.
ask for a suggested donation of 1 silver piece.
Oh, cool. I thought that was just for the museum. Awesome. Yeah.
No,
Jade
museum
donate the
entrance is
silver.
free, but there are donation boxes set up everywhere. So if you want to, you know,
Yeah.
give coin, you
I'll
can.
donate. I'll donate for that.
But
So
there
to the
is
party,
but
just
it's not compulsory.
cool. To the party as we're kind of like hanging out, just after the curator leaves and a little bit more on our own, just is going to suggest to the rest of them. Do you think that mural is? It looks awfully like maybe a secret cave in the mountains. Maybe the one that we're looking for. Do you think?
Uh, I am keen to believe that there are no coincidences, and that is
Yeah.
entirely likely. Also, the Herald, who apparently is some sort of major player in spreading void influence, was
Yeah.
apparently active in Kekabesh around that time and may have had a hand in the whole collapse thing.
Right.
So,
And I mean, there's a giant eye in the sky, and Ankesh, maybe if that's Ankesh, is being something's happening to him. And
mhm.
do you think? But I mean, it could just be the full moon. Do you think the cave only appears at a full moon?
Oh, I am willing to bet money on that being the case. If it's a cave that mysteriously only appears sporadically, and we have found evidence of a moon affiliation with it, um, that seems a likely answer to why that is the way it is.
Yuki, didn't you say that your monastery had people who like patrol the mountains?
Yes.
Do you think they could let's help us find the spot, and then maybe just on the full moon we go to the spot?
I'm sure if there is some way that they can help, they will. We will meet with Zhao Mao once we get to the temple or once we get to the monastery and explain our situation. I'm sure he will help.
Oh, that's lovely. Okay. Well, at least we have a plan of how to do that part. And then I guess we just go and explore the ruins for fun. And maybe more clues of things that other people think of as a divine intervention, and it's really just maybe a giant eyeball that's trying to eat you with a mouth it doesn't have because it's an eyeball. I don't know. Anyway. And then Jin will just hang out until the tour.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, they have an exhibit on chariots. Nifty.
They do
Oh,
actually.
this one has square wheels. That was weird. It's a weird time in history.
That's in the travel and trade section.
Do you think they did the? Do you think it was supposed to be a joke at the time for the square wheels, and we're all just foolish for reading too much into it, or?
I feel like it was probably like an art installation. Like, have you seen those weird pieces of art that don't really look like art but look like wavy lines or something, but it's supposed to represent
Oh,
things?
oh, yes. No, that was in vogue for a little while back among the well-to-do in Point Pleasant. It was an apple with like a bite taken out of it on top of like a cart that was missing three of the four wheels or something, and it was just sitting there. And everyone was very pleased with themselves on how they totally got what it was trying to convey.
But
I
then it
was so
just turned out someone actually just left their lunch.
so bored.
Yeah, I
Modern
feel like that's
art.
probably what this is, and then we're all just not getting the joke.
Well, um, ancient history is interesting, but I haven't learned any. I haven't learned anything necessarily applicable to my own studies, but it has been refreshing.
It has been nice to just be able to be. trying to learn something new and different. I like it.
How about you, Arby? How are you doing? And Arby is just over on the side examining various old weapons and armor from Kekebesh. He just turns over and just gives a thumbs up.
Harvey's very easy to please, which is nice. We like that in him.
Shield guy inspecting shields.
Shield guys.
Chill down.
You have your time to kind of wander around the museum, and as the time comes around for the expedition to kick off, you all kind of meet back up at this the excursion desk, whatever we're calling it, um, and you are introduced to a male elf. His skin is darkened by extensive time in the sun. Uh, he has silver hair and wears light clothing. Looks a little bit like this. He introduces himself as Varian Sandwalker.
He's hot too.
Yes.
Yeah. Sandwalker.
So as he kind of approaches, introductions are made. He smiles and he kind of gives a clap and he says, "So this is my my crew for the afternoon, huh?"
For the tour?
Yes, for the tour.
Yes.
Yes.
We would love to go on a tour with you.
Fantastic. Well, what we're going to do is we're going to take a ride out into the desert. We have a covered wagon that's drawn by a camel. We will take about an hour's trip out to the desert, and once we get there, we're going to see some excavated ruins of an old time gone past. And he
Hey,
kind of
do we have to
smiles.
dig things up?
What was that?
Do we have to dig things up? Are we digging things?
No,
Or just looking at things that were already dug up?
no digging. The digging has already been done. When we get to the site, you will see several buildings that have been excavated. The work is still ongoing, under the watchful eye of our very skillful foremen that are working out there. We have some nice tents that are set up out there for refreshments as well. And he kind of looks out around you, and his eyes kind of stop on Yuki, and you see that he kind of looks at your robes a bit, Yuki, and he points at you, and he says, "Byodo Monastery."
Yuki bows and says, "Yes, yes, that is where I am from."
Huh, we're actually not going to be far from the trail that'll take you back up there. Are you,
Yes, we are looking to head back to my home at some point.
oh, is that so?
Hmm.
I mean, if that's one of your planned stops while you're out there, I could take you right there.
Yuki will look at everybody else and say, "What do you think?"
Oh, that'd be great. I don't see why we would have to wait if we're going to be out there anyway.
Well, once we've done our visit to the monastery and any other sightseeing around the mountainside, we'll be returning to Wayvernport in any case. So,
Yeah, well, my expedition takes me past there pretty much the same time every day, so if you want to make a stop off and visit your monastery, you'll know when I'll be by.
That is very convenient. I appreciate your offer.
Hey, sometimes the stars align. What can I say?
That's really nice of you. Thank you so much.
Yes, of course, of course. I mean, I'm heading that way anyway, so sure. Well, are you ready to go?
Yes. That was a question, and I meant it to be an answer. Yes, we're ready. Sorry.
All right. Well, let's head out then. So he will kind of guide you out one of the doors of the museum. Greeting you upon exit is a covered wagon drawn by a mule, just as he said. Um, kind of opens the back door to this wagon, and it's a very comfortable looking space inside, if not a little bit sparse. But there are kind of flaps that open up on the side, so you can get like a whole 360-degree view outside of this cart. Um, but kind of covered over your head so that you will have some shelter from the sun while riding inside. The seats themselves are uh, nicely, comfortably furnished. Nice cushions for everybody to sit on, lounge on, relax, and there's even a small stand in the back of this wagon that has fresh water that always keeps itself cold. And with that, we head out to the desert. So, you have about an hour's ride to get to the point where he'll start showing you some ruins that have been partially excavated. Um, do you have any fireside chats or anything you would like to do within this time? If not, then the hour will pass by. Um,
I
as you.
think
Oh, go ahead.
Professor was asking Jade to do a quick scan of the guy with detect magic to detect any void.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I was muted. Jade will just like gently touch her shoulders, the professor's, as she casts her detect magic.
You detect no magic.
Nothing. She looked at the professor, but I don't sense anything from him at all.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Well, that just means that, there's no. I mean, I don't sense any magic. So, if he does know about it, now might be a good time to talk to him.
Yeah, well, I was hoping that he'd be a bit of a practitioner of sorts.
Maybe he isn't, but he has a different way of practicing that doesn't leave the residue behind.
That is true. Did you get it from me?
Am I getting anything from Professor?
You'll get, the normal magic items and stuff that he has. You'll get that he's a spellcaster.
Do I get any void off of him?
Yeah, it's still there.
Mm-hmm. I'm still sensing it on you. And all the normal stuff too, like your regular magic is there too.
Right. Well, leads me to believe that perhaps he's not what I was hoping, but doesn't hurt to ask.
Unless he punches you.
If he punches me, well, let's hope he doesn't punch me. I don't know.
It's okay.
The professor will kind of shimmy up closer to our tour guide and say, "Hello.
Oh, hello.
Um, so being the guide of Sedator, you know lots about the goings on about these areas, the people who inhabited these areas, the people who currently inhabit these areas.
Sure.
When we were touring the temples, there was one of the people there had sort of told us about this different school of magic, avoid magic sort of thing that some people were practicing, and they had mentioned that you might have knowledge about this school of magic and might even be a practitioner yourself. Would you be willing to discuss?
Kind of chuckles a bit, and he says, "Really? Who's told you that?"
Um, the person back at the temple whose name I completely blanking on. I've had a long day when it comes to memories. You see, it's kind of weird, but
Well, I may not be as much of a practitioner myself, but I do have some knowledge on its existence. Yes, I've heard of such things.
Really? Well, the topic is a bit of an interest to me, a bit of a chosen field of study, if you will.
Hmm, brave.
I
It's a
would
little
like
bit.
to learn what you know.
Well, I can tell you it's a little bit taboo depending on who you talk to about it.
Is it taboo to you?
Not at all, actually.
Perfect. It's not taboo to me, and it's not taboo to you. And we're the ones talking about it. I think this is perfect.
Sure. Well, what is it you wish to know?
Everything.
Well, there are some things that I know and some things that I have speculated over time. People tell a lot of stories. The artifacts themselves tell the stories too of what may or may not have happened. But none of us were really there, so I guess it's one of those things you can neither confirm nor deny. But the stories I've heard, what I know, what I think. Well, I'll start with what I know. The memory of the world easily gets distorted the longer that time goes on. And I know that in some magical circles, the void is told as a destructive force, hungry and always trying to devour, corrupt. But what they don't remember is things that have been written in the ancient texts and what some practitioners on the fringe of magic believe is that, well, that yes, magic can be used for good and for evil. It's more about the person who is wielding it. And as I said, the memory of the world can get distorted. Nobody, well, not nobody, but very few people live, quote, and he does air quotes, forever. And, history is written by the victors, and the ones who have written history have told us that void is evil and void is bad and it is forbidden and we're not meant to have it. But if you ask me, magic just is. It just exists for whatever the purpose the wielder chooses to do with it. Now, you can ask one set of people and they'll tell you, well, the void is the building blocks of life. It is just simply magic in the space where nothing had previously existed. Others will tell you that because it exists in a place that doesn't exist, then all it wants to do is consume everything else around it. And if you would ask me, I would say both of them are right. That it can be whatever the wielder chooses it to be. Of course, it has its own specialized purpose, I suppose, just like any other school of magic does. But so few people have used it and know about it that we don't really know for sure.
Right. So what you're saying is it's got a bad rap based on some bad eggs who used it for bad things, when in reality it's just because those bad eggs doing bad things with this thing. Now it's all frowned upon and looked upon in such a negative space, when in reality we just don't know. We haven't heard from the good eggs yet.
I think it's very true, but there is something inherently unstable about it since it is speculated that it doesn't actually come from our world, which I believe. Um, there are concerns that it may not be exactly stable, but I'm a bit of a well, I have a bit of a guilty pleasure in the occult, if you don't mind my saying so. And what it's believed in some circles that there are some extremely rare, and I mean extremely, extremely rare and powerful artifacts that exist somewhere that can potentially stabilize such energies if one were to get a hold of these things. That's where my interest lies, but that information, I'm afraid, still kind of eludes me.
The professor just kind of leans his elbow on his knee and puts his chin on his hand, kind of propping it up as he looks at him. Like, now that is an interesting theory. And I mean, it seems to me only logical that with the types of magical artifacts in this world doing the things that they do, that there would be something of that capability out there somewhere. Interesting theory indeed.
But again, one of those things where it's so rare that nobody has ever claimed to see or even know what these things look like, or what forms they take, or where they can be found. So that's why it's one of those things that's still not sure if it actually exists or not.
Oh, of course. But can you imagine being the one to find it?
Could you?
Ah, well. Enlightening. Thank you.
Hmm. And with that conversation, we're at 11 o'clock. This feels like a good place to stop for the evening.
Yay, revelations!
Relations and possibly side quests.
There's always side quest.
Ancient
Hell yeah.
ancient artifacts that are rare and old and powerful that can stabilize the void.
Mm.
Just
Clavis.
dropped in a conversation on in a cart.
Yeah.
Turns out it's nothing. It's just some guy just like, yes, in my day.
I speculate this could be a thing that exists. Narco just in the back, like source.
Fair enough.
I'm going to find it, and I'm
Cite
going
your
to find it
source.
tomorrow.
I love it.
Oh boy. Lots of good stuff today. I will take nominations for awards today.
Professor had a good bit with realizing his memories were fucked and freaking out over it and trying to get that solved.
Mm-hmm.
Ren got to talk to the wisest person he knows, himself. Jade was cute, getting all excited about a museum field trip.
Scuttling.
Learning.
Scuttling.
Much scuttling. You gotta
All the
scuttle sometimes.
scuttling.
Yuki with the friendly grappling.
Affectionate grappling.
Friend
Zen
grapple.
grappling.
Friend.
Friend grapple.
Friend hug.
Friend hug.
Cuddles, I'm gonna need you to friend hug that guy with all the pockets in his coat for like 10 minutes.
Guys out there corrupting cuddles.
I love the Ren meditating. I love Jade being super excited about being in a museum and scuttling away.
Yuki's force hug. No more
Hug.
moving. Only hug time.
Only hug time. That's Yuki's. You need to calm the fuck down. You are spinning. I get why you're spinning, but you need to calm the fuck down and think about some shit.
I really did enjoy Professor's Freak Out, though. That was absolutely delightful.
It was delightful. I
Getting
enjoyed
dizzy watching him.
the professor freak out and also Mars cursing out Seppi. I enjoyed both of those equally.
Listen, before any of this went down, I had a wizard NPC in one of those temples and a cleric NPC in another one, and guess which one was where?
I knew which one was where.
I was right the first
I think
time.
that was great.
Naruko's only point there was just like, Professor, I don't feel like you're thinking things through before you act, and I think we should think more. Here's a thought. Can we follow some thoughts for a second and not just march around?
20 out of 10 for Lorelei time.
Oh my
Oh,
gosh,
yeah.
yes.
Love that.
Oh, wait till she visits all the rest of you. Maybe in your dreams, Yuki. Let's see how that goes down.
Son of
Why
a
is there a
bitch.
threat? It's always a threat.
It's always a threat.
I mean,
Look, I'm not spying on you all the time, just most of the time that I'm here.
I mean, Fedwood might not be trying that again, but
Fucking Fedwood, man.
Now her dreams about Fedwin are just legit.
Now her dreams about Fedwin are just like weirdly sexy, and she's trying to grapple with that balance too.
It's that flapping cloak. That's really what does it.
Why
Yeah,
is your
focus
shirt
on it.
undone so far? No,
Why do you
Fedwin.
have a pirate
stop.
shirt on right now?
God, why do you look like a hot lumberjack?
Very billowy.
It's like the dream is always Fedwin in some strange outfit is like coming after her, and when he finally corners her, it's like, I've been trying to reach you about your extended warranty.
Amazing.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards Professor and Ren. Ren had a bit of a revelation today. It was the
Hells,
Professor.
yes.
Hell yeah.
I have
Love it.
2 inspiration already.
Ooh.
Gasps. Looks like you're gonna
Yeah.
have to send us some
So do
on some
I.
quest to use it.
Pick new people.
Oh
I
gosh, you
will.
both do.
Sorry.
We sorry.
Sounds like we need another beer pong night, guys.
Right?
Yeah.
Clearly.
Yeah, really.
You're
Time
gonna
to get rid of
spend
our
your
inspiration.
inspirations on dumb shit.
Obviously, we need to have another carnival.
Or place everyone into an area where they have to make saving throws constantly.
Mm.
Yeah,
No,
well, we don't need to go
you
your
stop
way.
that.
You
You
stop.
stop that talk right
Violent.
now.
Damn.
Absolutely not.
I think it's a wonderful idea. Let's get this going.
You shut your adorable mouth right now.
Oh,
Shut your whore mouth.
Oh, you guys got stuff coming up, and I am very excited.
He's been. I want you all to know, as you do not live with him, how much
dear.
I just get of. Oh, you guys. You guys just don't know. And I'm like, what don't we know? And he's like, you will know when you know. And I'm like, what are you talking about?
Just
How will
punch
they
him.
know?
Just
And
hit
he
him.
When we die, that's when we're gonna
taunts
know.
me. Just
Some of
taunts
us for
me
the
about
second
it
time.
all the time. He's like,
Just hit him.
not gonna tell you.
Joe, you're really leaning into this evil DM stuff.
Mhm.
It's kind of
He
hot. I'm
hasn't
not gonna
killed.
lie.
No, he has killed a familiar. Bastard.
It's no familiars ever
Jeffrey.
actually died.
Just hit him.
Yeah, that's why we all did a trauma response to make an infinity pack for our familiars. There you go,
For
buddy.
real.
Look,
Listen.
I'm just gonna tell you guys right now. A nuclear bomb could go off, and the only things that would survive are gonna be the pets. They'll all still be alive.
Okay, but in
Joel-
the real world, we'd be cool
Joel
with that.
never
So I'm
actually
just
killed
saying.
those pets.
Listen, I've only killed any of you once, and you were immediately revivified because I did not think of the evil tactic of counterspelling revivify.
Except for now.
Which that note has been taken.
Yikes.
Counterspelling the healing, man. Oh,
Yeah, that's the evil. New level of
it's
evil,
so
man.
evil and so delicious, and I can't wait to use it against all of you one day when my
Yeah, I'm gonna
character goes
disagree on
evil.
part of that. Anyways,
Anywho, I think I would
Pounce.
say my next picks for inspirations would be Jade and Yuki.
I like it.
Do I have inspiration?
We're gonna find out.
I have
I
one.
don't. I have none.
Oh, there you go.
Good. There we go.
I'll
Problem
take one.
solved.
Yay!
Yay.
I'll take one. It was for the
Good
scuttling.
work, guys.
Wasn't
It was
the
the scuttling.
it? It was the scuttling.
The
Look,
scuttling was good.
sometimes you've got to scuttle.
Was Yuki's for friend hug?
Yuki's for friend hug.
Friend.
Friend hug.
All right, people. I gotta go and take care of my pets. You guys have a great night.
Have a good
Okay,
night.
good night.
Good night.
So freaking funny.
Friend hug.
Friend hug. My gosh.
I do get excited the same way Joe does about upcoming things. And I enjoy obliquely referring to those things before you reach them. But don't worry. Once it
Don't worry.
happens,
They're coming.
I'll be happy to explain. So this was the thing I was excited about, guys.
We appreciate that.
This was the thing that killed my other party. You guys didn't die this time. Good
This
job.
is the thing that was going to kill you, but then didn't. So be happy about that.
I was excited for Professor to get his care package.
Adorable.
Care package.
I love that it's just not just, but I love that it's just like little things. Be like, I know you're going out to the desert, so I wanted to say hi and I love you.
Mm-hmm. Don't get sunburned.
He's a ginger.
He is.
He comes pre-sunburned.
Yes, we all do.
Free burnt in the shade.
Right?
We all
And
do.
he had told Z about the glasses that he had stolen from all of the bros. So she made sure the goggles would fit over his bro glasses.
Adorable.
Are they just clip-on sunglasses at this point? Like just like clip-on so he doesn't burn his eye retinas?
No, they are full goggles. That way no sand gets in your eyeballs.
Oh, sand goggles.
Sand goggles. Think like old school, maybe like flight goggles. Those like fucking
He's wearing some aviators.
Yeah. Like leather Amelia Earhart fucking goggles.
Amelia, get back here. Never.
I also enjoyed the mini lore drops that kind of trickled out of this one too.
Oh hell yeah. Those were great.
Like the micro drops.
I don't know if there was anything really micro about it.
Well,
don't sell it short.
They're subtle. I like your ability to, both you and Neville, like to drop lore in natural and organic ways.
That is true.
Oh, and I apologize for Steve and Jerry passing away in between campaigns.
I mean, it's been 25 years. We were all expecting it. We were just hoping it would never happen.
Right.
So if you were to ask Serene, she would tell you that they're not actually buried in those tombs. They actually don't know where they are. Just that these were like little tribute shrines that were set up for them in their memory.
We just assume they're dead.
On Sepka's behest.
Yeah, because that's the thing. If they were to pass away, Sepka would pretty much know instantly.
Yes.
So.
Of course he would.
Of course he
I
would.
think that's all I told Joe was I know that they're not around anymore. I leave the whens and the hows and the whys up to your discretion. So it was a surprise for me too that they had tombs here.
It was a surprise for me too, even though I made them die. Funny how that works sometimes.
I feel a little bit of accusation coming over there from the Jenna corner.
That's not an accusation, it's just a statement of fact. I killed them. Surprising how they died. When I killed them. Right in their face.
I am not afraid to have my characters die and stay dead. None of this wishy-washy pips nonsense where he which is not a slight against you, Mars. It's perfectly in character for that to be how Pips has been handling things.
Oh yeah, he's in and out. Just wait till he dies again. Not again.
He's got like 80 more years.
He's gonna be the longest lived Aarakocra ever.
I mean,
yeah.
Just because he died doesn't mean he has to stay dead.
Why don't they just let me stay dead?
I didn't
pulling me back in.
I didn't give you permission to leave.
Z angrily clears her throat in the corner.
Look, you can die when Z dies, which will be in about 350 years. Because she's a high elf, she'll live to be about 780 years old.